Center for Spiritual Living. Hello, everyone. We come together here and in our homes to express love, to practice radical acceptance and inclusion, and to gather together and with spirit. So, for those of you who know it, say it with me. We are a powerful spiritual community, lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, compassion, peace, and joy. The practitioner holding us all in consciousness today and knowing your good and the good for all of NTNC is Brooke Minkle.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow, that was a big one. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead right now and settle back. We're going to go within as we begin with an opening song, an opening prayer, and a meditation.
Take me to the water and I'll dive right in. I'm ready to let go of everything that's been. I said, take me to the mountain and I'll climb on up. From the highest peaks, beauty's gonna fill my cup. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, knowing all is well. Throw routine right out the door. When I'm scared, I know it leads me to something more. Widen my gaze and see all there is. Take a leap of faith, I'm gonna find that bliss. I say yes, knowing all is well. All right. I say yes, I say yes. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, knowing all is well. One more. I say yes, I say yes. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, knowing all is well.
I'm doing double duty here. So, just take a moment. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and let's just have this time together to connect with the divine, to connect in this moment with all that is good, to remember that good moving through us, moving as us, circling all around us and holding us. That beautiful creative force, that creates all of the individual things in the world. The clouds that are different, the snowflakes that are different, every feather on every wing, on every bird. That source of pure potential and all possibilities, and all of them good. And know that we are that expression here and now. We are the expression of good. And I give thanks for this time together, for the minister Barb and her talk today, for our musicians Jimmy and Julie, for Brooke, for our technical help, for all that puts this together, this service. And to you that are an integral part of everything we do. And knowing that all is well. I say yes. And if you would like to join me, you can. Join me in saying And so it is.
All right, today we're going to do something a little bit different for our meditation. I've been working a lot with some somatic work, holding trauma and feelings in the body. So I thought today I would share the 5-step self-holding exercise. This is for any time that you might be feeling overwhelmed or just need a little bit of extra love. Amber, that was beautiful, and how we're held. And sometimes we need to be reminded physically that we are held as well. So if you'd like to join me, you can. You can have your eyes open or closed. We are going to use your right hand or your left hand on either placement. You're going to just try different things and see what works for you. The first thing you're going to do is place your hands on either side of your head. You're just going to allow the pressure from your hands to connect. Feel yourself holding the sides of your head. Space between your hands and the energy that resides there. We're going to take a big deep breath here. The second position is the head and to front and back. Place one hand on your forehead and one hand on the back of your head. You can be energetically touching it or actually physically touching and pressing. Again, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Just feel the energy between the hands. And take a big breath here. Our next position is forehead and heart. So you will take one hand, place it on your forehead, and one hand and place it near your heart. Feel the sensations between the hands. Feel the energy and the time and space that you're giving to yourself right now. And a big breath here. The fourth position is heart and stomach. You're going to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. It can be over or near your belly button. You can experiment with what feels most comfortable for you. Breathe into your hands. Let's take a big breath here. Our last position is your solar plexus and the base of your head. Place one hand on your solar plexus, the point above your belly, and right below your rib cage, and the other hand behind the base of your head. You should be halfway covering the base of your head and halfway onto your neck. The middle of your hand should be over the deepest indentation. Feel the sensations created between your hands, knowing that you are right here and you are safe and you are loved. We'll take 2 big breaths here. Remember that you can do this at any time, at any place, in your car, at your job. To remember that you are held not only by the entire universe, but by yourself as well. Thank you.
We're going to sing a Joni Mitchell song we love. Without Amber on this one. Even though she's wonderful. Oh man, I haven't sang with Amber in years and years. It's so nice to have her singing with us today. All right. Yeah, this is from Song to a Seagull, 1968. surprise. Nighttime, nighttime, day left an hour ago. City light time, must you get ready so slow? There are places to come from and places to go. Night in the city looks pretty to me. Night in the city looks fine.
Night in the city looks fine.
Music comes spilling out
Music
into the
comes
street.
spilling out
Colors
into
go
the street.
flashing in time. Take off, take off, take off your stay-at-home shoes. Break off, shake off, chase off those stay-at-home blues. Stairway, stairway, down to the crowds in the street. They go their way, looking for faces to greet. But we run on laughing with no one to meet. Night in the city looks pretty to me. Night in the city looks fine.
Night in the city looks fine.
Music comes spilling out into
Music
the
comes
street.
spilling out
Colors
into
go
the street.
waltzing in time.
Somebody. You guys rock. Thank you. It is really good to have you back on the microphone. It's been a long 2.5 years. And it's good to be here with all of you. Let's do that thing that we do where we harmonize our hearts and minds even further. Let's take a deep breath, touch your heart, and say with me: care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. I needed props today. So it's finally spring, right? Even though it's going to snow again. Today in the Christian tradition, it is Palm Sunday. In the Hebrew tradition, Friday is Passover, the beginning of Passover, and it's Good Friday, which is an interesting combination. In the U.S. tradition, it's also time to get your taxes done. And last week was opening week of baseball, and I thought, well, there are spiritual practices that abound in all of those things, right? It has been an interesting message-laden week for me. Like the same message in a whole bunch of different ways. And so I have some stories today to sort of weave together. I feel like I have these four pieces of a tapestry that I'm going to weave together, and I'm knowing that there is something in that tapestry for you to hold on to for the week, or to wrap around your shoulders for the week, or whatever it is. So Ernest Holmes wrote, "Think of yourself as being in partnership with this divine presence and its creative law. Learn to trust this presence as you trust the simple fact that you are living. Do not be afraid to throw yourself in complete abandonment and with perfect acceptance into its soft embrace, for it is closer than your very breath and nearer to you than your hands and feet. It is right where you are. Think of yourself as being in partnership with this divine presence and its creative law." So baseball. Baseball started this week. Now, I'm not really actually a baseball watcher because, frankly, baseball just takes too long. And I am sure that there's a whole other talk in that for me, but I don't have time for that one in my life right now. But I wanted to talk about pitchers and catchers and being in partnership with this divine presence. So, because what dawned on me really is like we're all pitchers. We are all pitchers. We are at the center of our own team in our own field of experience. We have our own field of wisdom. And we have the voices of the other players that we've led onto our field, right? And some of us, we have our own set of pitches that we're really good at, that we're really great at. We have our own pitches that we're really great at. And then we have some that we're good at, and we have some that probably we need more practice. You might, let's see, I think I remember, you might be really good at a knuckleball. On the other hand, you might be good at throwing curveballs. I don't remember that one. I think it's that. And there's no judgment about those names, frankly. I'm just working with what is, right? So you with me? Things you're great at, things you're good at, things you probably need to practice more. Now the batter's up there, and I feel like the batter is like our negative thinking. The batter is the God blocker, right? We're throwing a pitch, and the batter's up there, shifting around, kicking the dirt, trying to keep us from throwing an easy strike. Really super happy to bat a line drive right back at us, and always wanting to hit a home run out of the park the opposite direction than we think that we want to go, right? Chatter back here. And spirit, that divine intelligence, it's the catcher. Now, I don't know if you've played baseball. Anybody played baseball? Okay. Or you watch baseball? A little bit? Softball? We did play softball. I was telling Marie, we did have a softball team one year. That was hilarious. So there are things that one should not do in ministry, and probably playing softball with your church is one of them. We got hammered. Oh my God. Anyway, so if you watch baseball, the catchers get to call the pitch that they think is the one they'll get by the batter, right? But here's the thing. So it seems like the catcher's calling the shots, right? But in reality, the pitcher always has the option to wave off that call. And the catcher's got to throw another and put up another one until there's agreement. So ultimately, the pitcher, we always get to agree to the pitch that's being called. The pitch is our call. Now, we could call this meditation and intuition. We could call this the longing within ourselves to create something that is beautiful and joyful and amazing in the world. We can know that as soon as we say yes and we let fly, that this incredible universe is kneeling there, ready to catch what we throw. Sounds easy, right? Okay. Right? And it dawned on me, we can load the ball up. We could load this ball up with all of the hurts and all of the disappointments and all of our previous bad pitches and all of the things before we throw it. And we can know that as soon as it hits the catcher's mitt, they have a special mitt, that as soon as it catches, that it hits the catcher's mitt, that all that stuff just gets to fly off and be left there because, we're doing our work. We're doing our healing work. But here's one thing I've noticed. I've noticed that we really love to hang on to stuff. Or maybe that's just me. We really love to hang on to stuff. We love to stare at it. We love to roll it around in our hands, being like, I know I've been very distracting with this ball, right? We love to take it out and roll it around some more and hold it, maybe do this with it a little bit. Sometimes we do that. Sometimes we actually clear our head and we take a big, deep breath, and we've nodded with the catcher and we've agreed on the pitch. You ready, Linda? No. We've agreed on the pitch, and we lean back and we wind up and we're just gonna do this. And here's the thing. What if I told you that at the end of the stretch, for any of this to actually work, for any of this to bring us into greater connection and greater life expression and greater trust, for any of it to work, we actually have to let go of the ball. I was going to throw it, but Matt sat over here, so. The only way for the universe to catch our dreams and our vision and our prayer, the only way it can return the ball to us now, no, don't do that. The only way that it can return the ball to us now so that we can experience the results and we can grow from the results and we can practice some more and do it again is for us to let go and trust that we have aimed true. And we have to be willing to play the game, which is probably a whole other talk. So I'm loading myself up with other things to talk about over the next few weeks. But we have to let go of it. We have to get on the field and we have to let go of the ball. And it is an interesting time for letting go and trusting, isn't it? It's kind of an interesting time for that. So much is changing. Some of it seems downright scary. And yet, the arc of the universe is always towards greater good. It always has been, it always will be, and it must be. And I have to believe that that continues to be true no matter what we think the world's problems are right now around us. And mostly, it has to be true even if I can't see what's coming. Second piece of fabric to weave together today. As you might guess, there's been some shifting and changing around our house. Some of you are probably aware, you maybe got our email that said Reverend Jenny has come to the realization that she really needs to step back and retire from full-time ministry. And that's been really heart-wrenching for her. And it's been a tough decision, and it's been a really heart-wrenching decision. And so I want to thank those of you who sent some notes that meant a great deal to her. You know, like most of us in ministry and a lot of us who are out in service things in the world where we don't always see the direct results of the work that we do, you know, she has trouble seeing where she's made a difference, and those of you who wrote really helped with that. So anyway, she and I and Reverend Leah, of course, have been in months of conversation. What's the next best thing for New Thought Northern Colorado? What is the next best thing for spiritual community in the 21st century? What is all that going to mean, and what does it mean, and what does it mean to serve this diverse community? So here's a funny one, and here's how clear it gets, right? We sent out a survey, which like 64 people answered, which was amazing. One of the questions was, do you want to be online at 10? Do you want to meet in person at 5? Or do you want to do that every other week? 33.33333% of you answered each of those questions with a yes. It's remarkably unclear. So we've all been in these conversations for a long time, right? And so anyway, in the midst of all this, there has been in our house this plastic tub, you know, the plastic bin that you put things in that you don't want to look at. There has been this plastic tub of files. So when we moved out of our own building at the mall, I had like 15 minutes to get my office emptied. And I picked up a plastic tub and I put all the files from all the file drawers that were in my office into this plastic tub. And I moved it underneath this desk thing in our kitchen. And it has been there for 2.5 years now. Okay? Now, do you ever not want to deal with something so much that you can actually trip over it for months and pretend it's not there? Okay, yeah. Apparently, I can do that too. So last week, as a result of all of these things, Jenny and I were purging and spring cleaning and trading offices, and I decide to tackle the tub. Tackle the tub. Maybe there's a baseball metaphor for the tub. I don't know. And I open it up, and there's like years of files of class registration forms, because we used to have to write them out and send them to home office. I've been doing this for a little while now. 8 to 10 years of lists of names of people who took classes, some of whom are here in this room, some of whom are online with us, some of whom I haven't seen in years. Pitch. Practitioner registration forms that Brooke and Christine and then Jelaine and Warren and Joni and Deborah J. and Kelly all filled out by hand. Same thing. Cards from people, how we changed their life. Drawings and plans for buildings. We talked about building and buying land. We talked about buying, and buildings we talked about building 3 years ago. Recycle. Pitch. the vision we created in 2015, which I actually shared with Leah. Just classes I created and workshops that I made up and taught, and all the pieces of paper from all of that pitch. And I was going through all that, and I was like having a lot of feels, like lots of feelings around all this, right? But I had this moment in it, finally, where I just felt sort of this sense of peace and this understanding that we are really not who we were. That we have profoundly changed in 2.5 years, every single one of us. And because we are a spiritual community made up of individual people, and all of our people have changed, our spiritual community has changed also. And it is different now. And so many of us, I feel like, and maybe this is true for me too, I feel like I've been sitting and waiting for something. Waiting for a sign, waiting for the right intuitive hit, the pull to something, and really have been sitting in some inertia, really, and kind of feeling a little stunned by it all, right? Anyone else feel kind of stunned about the last however long it's been? And what I realize is that I think I've forgotten that I'm the pitcher. And I'm waiting for the catcher to give me a signal that I can nod to, but I'm actually the damn pitcher. I almost swore, sorry. Inside voice. Even a year ago, I realized that even a year ago, I would have held on to a bunch of those pieces of paper and gone, oh, we could do this again. Oh, because we did some really great stuff, the paths to ownership, like this whole brochure that we had in back at Creative Center a long time ago. I mean, it's beautiful, really great work. I think, did we do that? I don't know. It was really great work, whatever. And I would have held on to a whole lot of that stuff even a year ago. And again, like, even though here we are, and a whole lot of us, same names, you still have the same name, and you 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 have the same name, but we are different people, and therefore a new and emerging spiritual community. But the thing of it and the thing that really got me through all of the feels, is the remembering that it is this teaching. It is these beautiful principles and teaching that continue to hold us here, that brought us here to begin with, that kept us engaged to begin with. They remain solid. And we might teach them differently, we might talk about them differently, we're updating our languaging even, but the teachings are there and profound and beautiful and life-changing when we work them and we practice them and we practice our pitching and we practice our connection with the catcher. One of my teachers reminded me once, when I got all lofty about things at some point, that never happens. I got all lofty about things. She was like, you just need to remember it's always about the basics. And here are some basics. This is a universe of love. It is reciprocal in nature, and what we put out into it is what comes back to us every time. We are at play with the infinite intelligence, and we can create a life that we love. When we act with love and compassion, it amplifies in our experience. Same when we act with apathy and disgust or hatred or lack of compassion or any of those things. The laws of the universe work exactly the same for everyone, regardless of how they are used. We are at choice in how we want to pitch. But we have to go out in the field and play, and we have to let go of the ball. So let me read this again. Think of yourself as being in partnership with this divine presence and its creative law. Learn to trust this presence as you trust the simple fact that you are living. Do not be afraid to throw yourself in complete abandonment and with perfect acceptance into its soft embrace. It is closer to you than your very breath and nearer to you than your hands and feet. It is right where you are. Third strand of the weaving. This one's shorter. I was on the phone because of the other work I do. I talk to a lot of ministers around the country and around the world, actually. But I was on the phone with a minister who was having some trouble with some things, and after dealing with the thing that we were talking about, of course, we got into the conversation about the future of spiritual community and what is church in the 21st. And we're all in this conversation, right? And all the things. And then she said something really beautiful that she said I could share with you. She says to me, this is what I try to remember. She says, we all know that everything changes all the time. Everything has always changed all the time. Everything will always change all the time. Everything is always in motion. The ground is always moving beneath our feet. It's just that we knew the pattern and we knew the steps. And now the ground continues to move as it always has and it always will, but the pattern has changed and we are still figuring out the steps. Thank you, Reverend Linda. Do not be afraid to throw yourself in complete abandonment and with perfect acceptance into its soft embrace, for it is closer to you than your very breath and nearer to you than your hands and feet. Now, when I hear those words, I think of being in a dance. We could think of being in a dance, a close, slow dance with someone that we love and that we trust. And when we're really in that dance, it weaves. Sometimes we lead and sometimes we follow. Some of us like to lead more, but then nonetheless, sometimes we lead and sometimes we follow. But we can trust that we aren't going to fall down and that no one is letting go of us. Fourth strand. I have a little poem for you. I have to stand up to do this because, sometimes just got to do that. I stumbled on this poem this week. It's been a week, by a woman named Sheila Harkin. She says this: say wow. Each day, before our surroundings become flat with familiarity and the shapes of our lives click into place dimensionless and average as Tetris cubes. Before hunger knocks from our bellies like a cantankerous old man and the duties of the day stack up like dishes and the architecture of our basic needs commissions all thought to construct the four-door sedan of safety. Before gravity clings to our skin like a cumbersome parasite and the colored dust of dreams sweeps itself obscure in the vacuum of reason, each morning before we wrestle the world and our hearts into the shape of our brains, look around and say, wow. Feed yourself fire. Scoop up the day entire like a planet-sized bouquet of marvel sent by the universe directly into your arms and say, wow. Break yourself down into the basic components of primitive awe and let the crescendo of each moment carbonate every capillary and say, wow. Yeah, say it with me. Wow. It's a good little poem. Who wants prayer? This glorious day. As I take this deep breath and I anchor into this moment and this time and this space and this beautiful community we call New Thought Northern Colorado and how it spreads and expands around the globe, I know simply the truth of peace and love and wow and compassion and wow. I know that this day we hold this space, that the arms of grace move around this planet in a way that anyone who is at war finds a moment of peace and remembers that peace is possible. It is not only possible, it is the natural way of our being. I know this day that we lift up any prayer that is within any one of you, within the sound of my voice, knowing that it is acted upon in this beautiful spiritual universe and that Spirit has it in mind and in motion before it even leaves the full thought of your mind. I hold this space of compassion, this container of love and release for those who are suffering or in pain. hold this space of all of that for the folks that we know in our lives who are sick or hurting. I know this day that as we weave this tapestry of spiritual community together, that there is something calling to us, that there is something birthing anew in this time that we find ourselves in, that we were called to for this life experience, that I know absolutely we are grounded in truth, in practice, in love, in compassion, and in knowing that for ourselves and for every other human being that we come into being with. And I give thanks for all of it. I give thanks that, oh my gosh, we live in a place where people come on vacation. I give thanks for the beauty of the mountains, for this space that has been shared with us so that we are coming as we come back together in person. I give thanks for all that comes together, all the people, the money, the time, the energy, the songs, the voices, the love, the hands, the meetings, all that comes together to create this time, this space, and an opportunity for us all to grow together. I thank every single one of you who brings yourself to it. And I lift all of this up, knowing it is not mine to do or fix, that this beautiful catcher is going to catch our dream and our thought and our desire, and it will return it back to us. And I leave room in my mind and in my heart for that return to be so much better than I can think of myself that it simply blows my mind. And I hold this for every single one of us in this space together, including the space there on the camera. And let it go. I know that it is simply done. And I ask you to join me, if you'd like to say wow again, by saying wow, and so it is.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
All right, stay standing if you want to. You know, this beautiful experience that we do together is totally supported by your gifts and tithes and offerings, and there is so much gratitude for that. So just repeat after me. Just think about that. Oh, if you want to pass it around, pass around. Or you can just come up. Don't be embarrassed. Thank you. Just place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. Spirit's abundance flows through, or you could do this. Spirit's abundance flows through me. Joyfully, I share from my good. Boom. Mamba. Oh, wait, you're not on yet. So I'm following the thing, right?
Come on, Jimmy.
We keep changing it on ourselves. You can sit. Thank you. For those of you who are online joining us, thank you for being here. Know that you are absolutely loved. We're going to close out that part of our service with our benediction and our congregational song. And for those of you who are in person, we have a little time for discussion. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Just let these words flow over you. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. And may you be a source of healing for all beings.
This is one of our favorites. Sing with us if you know it.
I shine,
I shine,
feet dance,
feet dance,
heart sing,
hearts sing,
when given the chance,
when given a chance. Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, so Spirit loves to dance. Get it, Amber?
I
Shine, feet dance, hearts sing, when given a chance. Yeah, Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, oh, Spirit loves to dance. All right. I shine, feet dance, hearts sing, when given a chance.
when given the chance,
Spirit loves to dance, yeah, Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, oh, Spirit loves to dance. That chorus again. Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, oh, Spirit loves to dance. One more. Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, Spirit loves to dance, oh, Spirit loves to dance.
All right, so we can just like split the room right about